The Ranger Report, yeah, the Ranger Report. If you want the inside scoop, listen to the Ranger Report. Oh, here we go!
This is the Ranger Report Podcast, Minor League Edition. News, insights, predictions, interviews, and information about the Texas Rangers from the major leagues to the minor leagues. And now, here are your hosts, Ben Dieter and CJ Berryman.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ranger Report Podcast, Minor League Edition. I am Ben Dieter. You can find me at BDieter75 on the Twitter.
I'm CJ Berryman. You can find me at CJB_RR on Twitter.
All right, so my background's just a little bit different. By the way, let me start off. This is the Fans First Sports Network Ranger Report Podcast. And of course, we are in the Premier Health Solutions Zoom studio, CJ and I are. And we are, of course, sponsored by Walton's. Walton's everything but the meat. And we are brought to you by Dallas Sports Nation, our great partner that we've had now for quite some time. And I just wanted to say thank you for everyone who prayed for me. I had some serious back issues going on. I have mostly recovered from it, but I was going to say I'm in a different location, filming a different way because I don't have the back fortitude to set up my studio thing to record. So I'm trying my mobile studio. I got a little lapel mic and my phone, and we'll see. So I'll look uglier than usual. Sorry about that, but we'll get through it together, right, CJ?
Oh, I don't think they like the way either one of us looked in the first place. So you've got the beard, so that gets
for us. If you're watching for us, you got problems.
Yeah. Sorry for that.
I'm just kidding, but we do appreciate it.
I sell insurance, and we got good plans for mental health facilities and stuff like that.
That's right. So if you like us, give CJ a call, and he can help. He can help you get moved into one of those mental health facilities.
Nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it. No, but we have. Our numbers are still growing. Thank you. I put out a plea on Twitter today trying to get us to 2,000. If you share that tweet and get us to 2,000, then I will give away things to 5 random people that shared that tweet. And they'll get some merch from our store. So I think that would be good. CJ ran some contests at his work, and we gave away some merch to people that he works with. So we're trying to get it out there and get it spread around.
Gave some merch and some swag away. So we're very generous.
Don't forget, you can also become a Patreon, and then you don't have to hear the ads that come on this podcast. You can just listen to it straight with no ads and hear all kind of great stuff, see some extra stuff. I write some extra stuff on there, some behind-the-scenes stuff. I think we're going to start doing this summer some Instagram Reels and some YouTube Shorts based on the podcast to try to gin up some more. So we got a lot in the works, but when you halfway break your back and can't move for a week, it kind of slows you down a little bit.
Yeah, well, we're just glad to have you back, Ben. I was worried about you. I almost shed a tear. Almost.
I'm glad you almost did. I feel better about that. Speaking of almost shedding a tear, let's start off tonight on the minor league edition talking about a guy who had his first major league start, and that's Cody Bradford.
Yes, sir, he did. And let's go ahead and preface with this. Everybody within the organization, including Cody Bradford, knew this was a spot start. This is all it was. And to get his feet wet, it was a perfect opportunity because the Rangers have played so many games in a row.
Yep.
They went on that West Coast trip, didn't have any days off. Came back, didn't have any days off. So they needed a guy to come in and give the starting rotation one extra day of rest. And so he came on, he did that, and he didn't pitch as badly as the line shows.
No.
5 innings, 7 hits, 2 walks, 6 runs earned. 3 strikeouts. He did not. If you watch the game, let's just go ahead and face the fact that Atlanta is a very good hitting team. Ronald Acuna Jr., since the word go to the season, has been one of the best, or the best, actually the best hitter in baseball. His numbers are ridiculous. It's going to be hard to see how he can maintain those throughout the season. And I'm going to be, I've always enjoyed the Braves as well, just not while they're here. So I'll be following along there as well. And, that's Luis Angel, Acunita's older brother. And so the Rangers have Luis Angel in Double-A, and he's doing very well. But yeah, Cody, he the home run that he gave up to Acuna, it was it was almost a perfect, I'm saying almost perfect curveball low out of the zone. Jonah Heim was actually going down to block if he had to, and Acuna hit it out.
Yeah.
So
there's just some great hitting in that game. That's all you can say. And you knew it was going to be a little bit of a struggle. You knew he wasn't going to come out of here with a .97 ERA on his first major league start.
No, it's not against a team like that. Now maybe against Oakland or somebody like that.
Against Oakland, he may have come out of it with 2 or 3 runs, not 6. But
if any, against Oakland. But anyway,
I'm not worried about him. He's still our best minor league pitcher right now, and he's still going to be. He starts again later this week, so we'll see how he does back at Round Rock again. But I have a feeling that he's going to be just fine.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. He's not worried about it. To him, it was a learning experience. And
he spoke to the media right afterward. Yeah. He was at his locker waiting and said he wasn't worried about it. He said, not the results I wanted, but I learned a lot. I felt like it was good. I felt like I did my job, which is, I mean, they called him up to save the rotation from, give him all that one extra day rest. He did his job. He went 5 innings.
He battled it,
the only reliever that had to be used since Andy Leon pitched to the 9th inning.
Yeah.
I mean, he did his job perfectly, what they asked him to do. Wasn't the results he wanted, but he said that he felt like it was good and that he got a lot out of it. He
battled the Braves through 5 innings. And you know what? For your first start, it's just a cup of coffee, and then you got to go back down. Yeah. That was a great spot to do it, I think, with Bruce Bochy making that decision. I'm not going to second guess Bochy much. That's not going to happen. And he knows, 3 different World Series teams. He knows what he's doing. He knows when to bring a guy up, and he knows all that stuff. And speaking of which, Corey Seager, welcome back.
Yep. We'll talk about that on the next Major League podcast. But he is back tonight. We're recording this on Wednesday night.
Yes,
and he's back.
The minor league version, and that's why I mentioned it, because Sam Huff was optioned out. So
Sam Huff has not looked good either since being called up.
No, I don't think it's time to worry. But
no. But,
the problem there is the situation that he's dealing with, and we're all human beings. I'm sure it's affecting him. I mean, he realizes that he's blocked. Jonah Heim is turned into one of the best catchers all around, right now at least.
Right now he's probably the best in baseball.
Yeah, he's probably, if you look at
he's in the top 3.
Yeah, if you look at the all around game of Jonah Heim, he's there, and. Yeah. And you're wanting Sam Huff to get regular bats, and they were trying to. They were trying to get him, DH at bats and stuff like that. But
they're also trying to get Josh Smith in there with the way Ezekiel Duran's playing.
Yeah, and so, you're just what are you going to do? And Zeke, it's hard to say that the Rangers might have found their shortstop, or they had their future shortstop in house before they signed Corey Seager, but that's where we are. Yeah. Luckily, Zeke can play just about anywhere in the field except catcher.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, Zeke is a guy that we'll never see in the minor leagues again.
No, I don't think so. But with that, I'm happy with what I saw from Cody. I actually went in expecting it to be numbers wise and box score wise a rough start.
I did too.
Number one, because of who he's playing, and because it was really a sudden deal. Now they might have known about it. He might have known about it beforehand.
I got a tip off. I got a tip off on Saturday that it was happening.
Okay,
but I wasn't allowed to say anything about it, so I got a tip off on Saturday.
Okay. See, Ben's in the know, y'all. Ben's in the know.
I got a tip off, and the person swore to me, "Do not say anything to anybody."
You can tell me, Ben.
I was going to text you, but I was on a lot of medication, so I kind of forgot.
Yeah, because you might have texted somebody else. That's a good call. All right, so let's go from Cody Bradford to some depressing news that was received. Was it yesterday afternoon about Kumar Rocker, unfortunately, and I didn't even realize that there was any concern, but I just wasn't. I was too consumed with my day job, I guess. But yeah, the
deal is, I think the Rangers said this had nothing to do with the injury that kept him away from the Mets. Nothing to do with that. And this is just, 85% of the pitchers have to go through this procedure at some point in their career at this point. Almost like everyone does this, Tommy John. And better now,
Reagan's twice.
First full season, better now. He'll miss basically this season and next season before he comes back.
He might come back for the latter half.
He might come back for the latter half.
In the latter half.
It's usually a year, right? It's usually a year.
Yeah, usually a year away. So,
but he was pitching really well. I'm not worried about him. I think he'll come back and be just fine. But yeah, disappointing news, but it's not an I told you so. They signed him under slot for a reason. They paid him less money for a reason. They knew the injury risk was there, and they knew he hadn't had Tommy John. And I mean, in my opinion, I thought that was going to happen at some point anyway. Better now than right before he gets called up or right after he gets called up to the Rangers and is being counted on. Now he's pitching for Hickory. He's getting his feet wet, and now he's going to have a year off to recover. So disappointing news to say the least, but it doesn't make me think, oh man, I wish we wouldn't have signed him.
No, not at all. I mean, the draft, it was surprisingly awesome. I when I saw that name come across, totally wasn't expecting it. Nobody was. Everybody was pretty thrown off by that. But no, I'm still happy with it, and I'm just not surprised. And it's not because it's him. It's just if you said Jack Leiter had to have Tommy John surgery, I wouldn't have been surprised. It just seems like it's so common in the minors, especially with these kids coming up and they're getting stronger. And that ligament can only take so much. Yep. And it just seems like it's so common now. You gotta, like I said, if you're Cole Reagans, you gotta have it twice. And
some people, you see a lot of it in high school now, where high school kids have to have it done.
Yeah, and there was actually
they're throwing harder, younger.
Yeah, and there was people talking about when I was in high school, which was back when Moby Dick was a minnower, something like that. But he
was still Moby Richard when I was in high school. So
okay, Moby Richard. Richard. Okay. But yeah, that kids were somehow I don't understand it, but I'll never will understand some parenting decisions when it comes to the baseball stuff. But some kids were having Tommy John surgery without even having an injury whenever I was in high school playing ball. So it's just not a shock anymore. And again, I think a lot of it, you're hearing about it a lot more now because kids are stronger, faster. The ACLs, as well, the ligaments and stuff. Yeah, it's hard for them to compensate whenever the kids or adults or whatever are stronger, bigger, stronger, faster. But the ligaments have to bear that burden. So
anyway, again, surprised. Not a shock, but it's depressing news for sure. But Kumar will come back better and stronger. And I think, if you look at the rotation right now and what Dane Dunning is doing and what we've got ahead of him, it's not a big loss. Like, they weren't planning on him pitching in the majors this year. It wasn't in the cards anyway. So it's probably going to be okay. He'll be up now in a couple of years because you'll have some contracts expiring like John Gray. We don't know if Martin Perez will still be around, and there'll be a spot for him in a few years, and he'll just be a little bit behind on getting ready, but I think he'll be all right. So that's my take on Kumar.
Better happening now than later. And he was having an excellent season, 28 innings pitched, 42 strikeouts, a whip of 1.00. He was having an excellent start to his professional baseball career here. Now let's flip that over to some positive news.
All right, who we got next on the list?
Yeah, Aaron Zavala, second round pick just a few years ago in that Jack Leiter draft.
He's leading off for Frisco tonight.
He's leading off for Frisco tonight, Ben. And why don't you go into how important that is?
Yeah, Aaron Zavala is one of the guys that several people have thought could be major league ready very, very quickly. Yeah. And the injury at the end of last year kind of sucked. He missed the end of the season with that run in Frisco to win the championship. Needed some time to recover. He's been in Arizona getting his at-bats and getting ready. He's back. Aaron Zavala, if you remember, he had a batting average of like .98 at one point last year, but he had like 31 walks. This is a dude that is patient and super selective at the plate. And this is a dude that when he gets it all together, he's going to be a top-tier major league player, in my opinion, just watching him, reading on him, talking to other scouts about him. I think other scouts, I'm not a scout, talking to scouts about him. They think this kid has what it takes, and he's polished because he had a couple of years in college under his belt. He was another great signing when they did that a couple of years ago, and he's one now that he's back from that injury. Watch him in Frisco. You will see a lot of walks, a lot of patience, and he knows the strike zone. That dude does not swing at bad pitches at all. Does not swing at bad pitches.
Yeah, his career, he has a 420 OBP.
Yeah.
So he gets on base, and 277 average overall. 280 average overall. Yeah. And the OPS of 864. That will play. Yeah,
he's a dude that gets on base, and wherever he's been, college and so far in the minors, this dude just gets on base, and he's fast. So when he gets on base, he's no Leody Taveras or Bubba Thompson, but he still can get stuff done on the path.
Absolutely.
So I'm thinking this is a huge boost for Frisco, who kind of needed a huge boost right now.
Yeah, well, everybody in the minors needs a huge boost right now.
We'll talk about that a little later, but yeah,
we're getting into that.
We're having some minor problems.
Ben had to wince from laughing at from his back after making that little joke.
Yeah, even I groaned at my own joke there. Sorry. Yeah, but it's a good deal for Frisco to have him back. It's a good deal for the organization. He's a guy that could, if he plays the way he could, you could see him in September maybe get a few major league at bats. Possible. I mean, I think we're going to see someone else first. Everyone knows who that is. Outfielder for the Frisco RoughRiders. That'll come up for Aaron Zavala, but.
That's what I was going to actually bring up. So Zavala right now, as we speak, they are playing against Amarillo Sod Poodles. I'm here, they're there. So Frisco's kind of they're up 1-0 right now. Mm-hmm. Jack Leiter's pitching, so that ought to tell you. Amarillo.
Let's bring him up. He has been as bad as he started the first few games. He has completely flipped that, hasn't he?
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God, because we weren't in panic mode yet, but you and I talked about we may be on the fence, starting to get ready to be like, uh-oh. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, now he's pitching like everybody thought he could.
Yes, and I guess he just needed to get his tail whacked a little bit by the league at first. And learn it. I mean, he had to learn fast, because I just, again, was surprised that he was put in Frisco to start last year.
Yeah. And the surprising thing for me has been the walks, because he's walked so many batters. I think he's trying to nibble a little too much, and those minor league umpires aren't the same as even the SEC umpires. As far as, he may have gotten a little more leeway on those corners in the SEC because he was Jack Leiter than he does at Frisco. They don't care that he's Jack Leiter in Frisco.
You might be right. So
his last few starts, if you can look, he hadn't walked that many, has he?
Tonight?
No, his last few. I think his last two have been really good starts, and I think he's cut his walks significantly.
Tonight, no walks and 10 strikeouts through 5.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So, that'll play.
Yeah, 15 outs, 10 of them by the strikeout. And I'll go ahead, and since you mentioned Evan Carter, this is why we were saying you don't want him called up right now. Coming into tonight, he's 6 for 4, his last 42.
Yeah.
No extra base hits.
If you listen to those other dudes, that also do a podcast that are pretty good.
Yeah, they're all right.
Jeff Wilson mentioned that Evan Carter was going to struggle at some point, because everybody does. And we knew that was going to happen. The Rangers want to see him sustain this. And then I think they're going to want to see Evan Carter in AAA as well. And they're going to want to see him sustain it there. Like last year with Josh Young. Remember, everyone was screaming, why isn't he up yet? Why isn't he up yet? Why isn't he up yet? The same thing's going to happen with Evan Carter. And the reason is they want to see that consistency. They want to see him do it day in and day out through the grind, and not just, oh, look, he had one good week, let's call him up.
They want him to go through the highs and the lows right now. Yeah. I mean, going through those highs and lows, and let how high his batting average and OBP was to start the season. He's 0 for 2 tonight, and his batting average is down to 263. Yeah. It's not an indictment.
Again, not the end of the world. Everybody goes through ups and downs in baseball.
But that's also why we were saying you don't want Evan Carter in the majors right now. Right now, you want to see him in Round Rock first, but you also want to see that plateau. When's that hot streak going to slow down? And I mean, it went up and then it went straight down. Now we'll see if he can plateau that back up and kind of sit around. I'd like to see him hitting around the 300 mark. That'd be awesome. And a guy who himself has gone through those ups and downs, Luis Angel Acuna, who I mentioned earlier, is 1 for 2 tonight. He's hitting 322. He's playing great. He's one of the best defenders down in AA. For certain, and he's doing everything. He's hitting third in the lineup. That lineup is still stout as all get out, with Thomas Segesi, who goes overlooked a lot now. He's hitting cleanup. And Dustin Harris is hitting 5th. He started off pretty slow.
Yeah, he did too.
But he's another guy that we want to look at as far as moving forward. And now the minor leagues are in a funk, Ben.
Yeah, right. So minor leagues are in a funk. If you guys have been paying attention, almost every team lost almost every game last week.
Yes, I mean, it was bad.
There was only 1 or 2 little wins in there. Round Rock was swept in their series. They didn't win a game. They lost all 6. Frisco lost a bunch. All 4 teams. So again, it seems funny to me that they all seem to be doing it together.
Yeah, at the same time.
They're all good. They're all good. And when they're all bad at the same time.
Yeah, and luckily the big league club has just kept doing their thing. And what's neat about it is they're doing it without their top 2, or we're doing it without their top 2 players. Yeah, they're 2 big money guys. We're not in the lineup, and they continued to go. And what you said about Dane Dunning, and that's another decision that's going to come up if and when Jacob deGrom is able to come back. But we're talking minors. Last night, TK Roby had a bounce back game.
Yep.
Frisco won 3-2. And TK, his sixth and the third, actually took a no hitter into the seventh inning and struck out 8, lowering his ERA to 6.11. He had been struggling getting bats to miss balls, and up to this start, and he was awesome. Again, a no hitter into the seventh inning, and that was excellent to see because it had just been bad up to that point. It had been really bad. We were starting to get a little bit worried, or we were worried. Let's go ahead and say that we're worried.
Yeah,
and wanted to see if that was going to be a bounce back. Mitch Bratt had a really good game, even though Hickory lost to Rome.
Yeah, but he had a great game though.
Yeah, he was. He scattered 9 hits through 4 2/3. I don't know how he did it, and it walked 2, so he had 11 base runners, but he only allowed 3 runs and struck out 7. So Daniel Mateo was 2 for 4. That's another guy that we need to keep an eye on as well. He's in 271. He's got 4 homers. Mitch Bratt missed a season high 14 bats in Fan 7 last night, and that's per Scott Lucas.
Yep.
And
Go ahead. Sorry.
Down East beat Fayetteville last night 10-0.
Yeah.
And DJ McCarty went 5 innings, struck out 8, just 2 hits, 1 walk, and he's got a 0.92 ERA now too. So,
like I said, if you watch them now, they seem to be trending back up again because Frisco's winning tonight, Round Rock's winning tonight. You know, like you said, Down East won. I don't know how Hickory's doing tonight or if they've already played. I didn't check today yet, but I know they're all of them are starting to win games again. And sometimes it's just the series. Sometimes you're just not matched up well with a team and, they just take you down. And sometimes it just kind of, like we said, someone has a bad night and someone else has a bad night. And then it just sort of snowballs like that 12-0 game the Rangers had against the Braves. Sometimes it just snowballs on you. And you know what? I would rather not lose 5 games by 1 run, but lose 1 by 12 runs and then come back and win the next night. Because it doesn't matter if you lose by 1 or 12, it's still a loss.
And it was a game that you saved your bullpen and your pitching rotation got an extra day of rest. It was important.
Yeah.
Hickory did lose today.
Okay.
3-1 to Rome. So it was another good pitching performance. And
That's the thing. Even through this, except for a few Round Rock games where they got slaughtered, not a lot of teams were getting blown out. They were all fairly close games. We're just losing them by a little bit. And I don't think all 4 teams are above 500 now, are they?
Hickory's not.
I don't think Down East is either.
Let me look here. Down East is 19-13.
Well, there goes your Evan Carter theory. He just tripled.
There you go. See, we talk bad about him and then he does stuff.
Then he just tripled.
Frisco, not above 500.
Nope. And
Round Rock is 3 games above going into tonight.
Okay, because they were way ahead. And then they had that 6-game losing streak that kind of knocked them down a little. So let's start there. And Round Rock, if you would, I know you've got the stats there in front of you. So Round Rock, most people know all the Round Rock players, but other than Cody Bradford, who's a pitcher people should keep an eye on in Round Rock?
Well, we've been talking about him and been worried about him. Cole Wynn is definitely one everybody needs to start putting their eyeballs in their ears to, because he's not looking like that guy that he did in Double-A.
Man, when we watched him in Frisco, it was incredible.
Yeah, he was great. And he's pitching tonight. Yep. And already through 2 innings, he's given up a run in each inning.
Yep.
His ERA is at 7.94 right now. And, I'm just worried. I'm completely.
Cole Wynn's the guy that 2 years ago, you and I thought would be a Ranger this year.
Oh, yeah. We figured it by now.
Yeah. I figured he'd come up last year and then be a stable this year. But I mean, it did not go well for him last year, and it is going even worse this year. And he didn't have a good spring training either.
And it makes you wonder with him, and obviously with Leiter and Rocker being so young, it's going to take him a year or so to likely 2 years for each at least to be ready to go in the majors, you'd hope. And if Cole Wynn's struggles and them kind of looking at that overall and seeing, Cody Bradford's obviously doing what Cody Bradford's been doing. And he's been quietly good really his whole minor league career. And now he's just taken off. But if that didn't really influence their decision to go ahead and sign Andrew Heaney deals, the DeGrom, that's a whole separate issue, but good issue. But and Uvalde and that I wonder if that had an influence.
Yeah,
what they had in AAA, including Cole Winn and how his progression just started going backwards since he got up to AAA. I wonder if that did influence that. I don't know.
I wonder if it did too. How is Jake Latz looking at AAA?
Jake Latz, let me check that one. That one is a good one.
Yeah, because that's another guy that I've kept my eye on, but I haven't checked in the last week or two, so I don't know how he's doing.
Excuse me, I've been talking all day.
Sorry to make you do this right after work.
No, it's fine. I'll live. I got a humidifier going. Jake Latz, I think he was injured to begin the year, I believe.
Yes, but he's pitching now.
Right now, he's got a 205 whip. It's not going so well. 14 and 2/3. He still struck out 24.
Okay. So he's still getting his strikeouts.
Yeah, but ERA 9.2.
Okay.
In 13 games, only one start. So
so he's not pitched much. So that ERA is bloated because of one bad inning, basically.
He's actually got 2 saves.
Yeah. Okay. So they've been using him all over the place because he's one I think is going to be a bullpen piece if he comes up.
Yeah, and that's a guy that we started following
a couple years ago in Frisco too.
When he was right when he got called up from Hickory.
Yep.
And he's definitely a guy we've been eyeballing since then, and that's a guy we hope does well. Taylor Hearn has looked fantastic.
Yeah, he's looked great
down there since his demotion earlier in the year. In 9 games, whip of 1.24. Now it's because of his walks. He's still missing
he is striking him out.
A lot of pitches, but he does have an ERA of 0.66. And let me see his walks here. 8 walks in 13 and 2/3.
Yeah, that's too many.
That's way too many. And hopefully, I don't think until they see that improve, to be honest with you, I don't see them giving him another chance until they see that improve in AAA. I just don't see it.
Everybody knows we love him on this show, but I don't know that he'll ever be back up with the Rangers.
At this point, it's hard to find a spot. You know what I mean? That's
what I'm saying. Other people have surpassed him and are doing well. I mean, Dane Dunning and Cole Reagans are way better options right now than Taylor Hearn.
Yep, they are. And I think that they would give another shot back to Hickory Crawdads before they would call Taylor back up. Joe Barlow.
He just got called back up.
So that kind of tells you where Taylor Hearn is on the pecking order. And I think until they see that the control, the walks go back down, that he's going to be back. He's going to stay in Round Rock until they see an improvement there.
And it could be an old Chris Davis situation. You remember Crush Davis or Chris Davis for us?
Yeah,
that did terrible until he went outside of his hometown team, and then he wound up killing it for Baltimore. But it could be a situation that if you get Taylor to another team, he could get it right. And I'd hate to see him go, but it could be that situation.
I hope the best for him no matter what.
Me too, yeah.
Whether it's the same as we are with Mason Engler. I mean, we love Mason Engler too. And he's doing well with Detroit, and we hoped, it was a Rule 5 deal. They got to keep him on the roster all season long, and if they don't, he comes right back to us. But we don't want him to, just because we want him to do well enough, and he is doing well enough to remain up in the big leagues for Detroit. John King was called up, so and it's good to see him up and doing his thing. Zach Kent, he's getting ramped up.
Yeah, he's getting ready to come back from injury.
Yep, and so it's going to be fun to watch. Fun and interesting.
Yeah,
with the Cole win, and then you got Cody Bradford. See how he handles, what happened the other night against the Braves, which I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, I do too.
Yep, and Chase Lee has been in a little bit of a funk lately, and see how he comes back. Cody was doing pretty well for a little bit, and then last night it just wasn't there. So there's a lot of interesting things to see.
A lot of things in Round Rock, for sure.
Round Rock, yeah, for sure.
Let's shoot down to Frisco. We've kind of already talked about it, but another name I wanted to mention that we didn't earlier is Owen White, who's also having a great season for Frisco.
Yes, sir, he is, and I'm switching over to
Owen White has been everything everybody wanted him to be. Everything he was in Hickory, he's doing it again so far in Frisco. He's a dude that if you haven't paid any attention to, I don't know why you haven't, but he's a dude you need to pay attention to because Owen White is a stud. I mean, he really is.
He is, and he's Michael Tepid likes to call a dude. He's a dude.
Yeah, he's a dude. Yep.
So yeah, he's doing really, really, really well. Mark Church is doing really, really. Grant Wolfram is another guy we need to keep watching. Right now, Owen White has a 3.73 ERA that leads the team. He also has the best whip at 1.15.
And people got to remember that that is a hitter-friendly league. The Texas League is a hitter-friendly league,
especially Amarillo.
Every batter you ask. Jeff
Justin Foskey, I thought he dozed off into a dreaming daze whenever he said, "I love going to Amarillo." He was
like, "Man, I love that place." Yeah, he fall into that.
Jack Leiter, not surprisingly, even though we are, still concerned about the walks with him, 44 strikeouts coming into tonight. That leads the team. Yeah. So he's obviously upping that ante. And right now, Frisco just exploded.
Yeah, I'm watching. The scores are coming across as we're doing this.
Frisco's up 8-0 now. Yeah. So I'm kind of wondering if after that long inning, Jack Leiter comes back out. I do not know. But an explosion for Frisco. Good to see you there.
Yeah, I mean, we know they have it offensively. They just got to put it all up. They just got to put it all together. And now Round Rock also extends their lead. Oh, no, El Paso. Sorry. El Paso extended their lead. But anyway, I think Frisco is going to be fine in the end. I don't know if they're going to win another championship this year, but I think they'll be right in the hunt again at the end of the year.
I think they get into the playoffs. I think they win one of the halves. Yeah. And TK Roby, that's a guy to watch seriously.
And to get on the show too.
Yes, we need to get him. I've got his contact information.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, the reason it's just being CJ tonight is because we hadn't done one in 2 weeks, and there's so much to talk about. Yes. That I made the executive decision that it would just be me getting this thing over tonight because there's so much to talk about.
Yes, there's.
And we're a half hour in, and we're only now at AA. So.
Yeah. So TK Roby, keep an eye on that guy for sure. That's another highly touted guy who was struggling, but again, last night, gosh, that was a breath of fresh air. I was so happy to see him do what he did. And Dustin Harris also had a great night last night. He was 3 for 4. Batting average is just at 220 right now, but he's also a very patient hitter. He still has a 367 OBP. So he's very patient. And so this is Mark Church pitched 1 2/3 last night and got 4 strikeouts.
Yeah.
So he's that's a guy. Get ready for hopefully if the Rangers have a future closer in their minor league system, right there is going to be your guy. I think Mark Church will certainly be able to fill that void later on, if not be at least a very effective setup guy. I just have high expectations for that dude.
All right, let's scoot on down to the Hickory Crawdads, who are, again, they've been struggling a little bit. They have the lower leagues, though, the A-balls, it's a lot more hit or miss because these guys are just getting into professional baseball.
19-year-old kids, man.
Yeah. How are we looking at Hickory right now?
Hickory's 12-19 right now. They have been in a big funk lately.
Yeah.
So, but
has it been the pitching or the hitting mostly?
I'd say mostly on the hitting. They haven't been hitting that great. But they haven't been pitching all that great either.
Now, when you're 12-19, you've been doing both things wrong, probably.
Yeah, and Larson Kindreich pitched last night. That's another guy to keep an eye on if you're in Hickory. The guy that I have, that's my guy. That's my Jake Latz. That's my Zach Kent. I always pick a guy in Hickory that I'm going to stick to that not a lot of people are talking about in Hickory, because most people are talking about Kumar Rocker, or they're talking about the second round pick from this previous year, Brock Porter. Yep. So down and down east, I try to find those guys. So Larson Kindreich, he's got the CJ Berryman glasses on him.
He does. Yes, he does.
And I've had it on Jake Latz and Zach Kent. We need to get Jake Latz on. We'll work on that. But yeah, they
got to get Chev's list on. But
Chev, we got to get Chev's list on.
We got to get Chev's list on.
Quit mentioning Chev so much on this show. We could get the shout out like every show now. I'm kidding, Chev.
But he sent us a great list of guys to interview. Every single one of them are guys I want to talk to. So.
Larson Kindreich was one of them. So
he was. Yep.
We'll definitely hit up your list first.
But no, Hickory is they're struggling a little bit, but again, they'll have ups and downs. They'll go on a 10-game winning streak at some point this season, where they'll have a combined ERA of like 1 point something. I mean, it's going to happen. It happens, especially in that league. Especially
yes, especially in this league. I mean, all the lower ball teams, the AA, high A, and low A, they're in hitter-friendly leagues. I mean, they really are. But Liam Hicks is a guy to watch for Hickory. Also, I don't know if folks noticed, Joe Palumbo was trying to make a comeback after pretty much getting the yips and I guess you could say flaming out. Yeah. In AAA, and they actually just released him yesterday. It just wasn't working. He still does. He just got the yips. He has, and
he was good when he first got here.
Really good. Really
That's a shame, but it does happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, it sucks. It straight up sucks. Liam,
you say Cole Wynn's pitching for Round Rock tonight?
Yes.
That's not going well.
Yeah.
7-1 El Paso.
Yeah. Yeah, his ERA is 8.65 now. So
anyway, we're on Hickory, but yeah,
that's
Joe Palumbo is sad, but I mean, there are a lot of guys that burn out, and he got a lot of time before it happened for him, unfortunately. But he got to see anybody.
I liked seeing that the team gave him such a long leash because they knew the talent was there, and if it just came back, the talent's there. If his control would come back. Remember the Braves closer Mark Wohlers going through that back in the 90s. Rick Ankiel, same thing. Just completely had the yips, could not throw a strike to save his life. But Ankiel was a super athlete. He ended up playing in the majors for the Cardinals for a while in the outfield. Mark Wohlers ended up. I honestly, I cannot remember. It wasn't the same Mark Wohlers that we were used to see in the shutdown. Mark Wohlers. No. After he had that issue, and it was so hard. I mean, just felt so bad for the guy. The fans are cheering him on. They know what's going on, and he just.
You see it more in hitters than you do in pitchers because you get hit in the face or you get just something happen to you and you get the yips when you get up there. But it can happen to pitchers too, for sure.
Yeah, and so the hitting for Hickory, they only have one guy hitting over 300 in a hitting league, and that's Liam Hicks. Previously mentioned Liam Hicks. Daniel Mateo is a spotlight. Max Acosta is definitely a spotlight there.
Definitely
trying to get him on the show as well.
He's another one that's quite the spotlight.
As well as Larson Kindreich and Kumar Rodriguez. Yeah, he's hitting 283. Yep. He's having a good year down there.
No, they definitely have some talent in Hickory. It's just again, these guys haven't. I mean, a lot of them haven't played together before, so they're having to build themselves that team balance, that team camaraderie, and get who's going to hit in front of me. What are you going to do? They got to get all that together. I'm not worried about any of these teams so far. As hot as they all started, as slow as they are right now, not overly concerned about any of it.
Super, super interesting. This blows my mind. So we've talked about J.C.'s lead the last couple of years in Down East and how he was the season stealing leader by a long shot. Yeah. Every single year. He's the son of former Angels second baseman Damian Easley. And I'd love to see him get up, but he's not going to be able to do it with a 188 average.
No.
So, and that's in 29 games this year. Here's the weird stat. He still has a 322 OBP. And he still has 10 stolen bases.
Yeah.
So the guy is a freaking Bubba Thompson times 2. This guy is lightning, but he just can't find a way to get on base. And hopefully they can get that corrected. Yeah, his slug is 179. He's hit nothing but singles.
He's hit nothing, but he's taking walks.
Yeah, but his OPS is 503. I mean, that's super low. But yeah, he's finding a way to get on base still. 19 walks in 29 games. 19 walks in 29 games. Obviously very selective. Just got to be able to I don't know. Do something. Figure out a way to get on. And I'm sorry, he's hitting 188. That's my bad. Okay. My bad. Hitting 188, and the OBP is 322. I was looking up at the wrong stat. I'm sorry, Jace. Sorry, Jace. OBP of 322 with a 188 batting average. It's still,
Yeah. All right, let's shift down, if you can, over to Down East and take a look at the Woodies, or the Wood Ducks as they're called. By the way, they're playing the Woodpeckers, and I noticed that they put their score up the other night as Woody and then Woodpeckers, so I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it is pretty good. That is pretty good.
Their Twitter guy is pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty creative. They do a lot of very good promotional stuff there.
They're funny. By the way, I didn't talk about this when we were on Frisco, but I just wanted to mention best promo ever. They had Peaked in High School night the other night at the ballpark.
Oh, great.
That is a fantastic promotion right there. Peaked in High School.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so awesome.
That's the one thing I love about the minor leagues. We need to do a whole show on that sometime, is great minor league promotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should get the GM of Round Rock back on again and talk to him about some great promotions that he's seen in his day.
Absolutely. Get him on. Let's get Victor back on.
Victor's not there anymore.
Oh, he's not?
No, he's doing a podcast for the Angels now.
Okay, forget that I said that.
Yeah, he's no longer with Frisco. I didn't know that either until I checked. So,
fuck.
Yeah, okay. He left. That kind of sad.
All right. All right.
That was one of my favorite interviews.
Yes, it was. I gave you my best stuff.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So down east. Speaking of not having very good hitting, man, down east lost 2-1. Now they did obviously have that outburst the other night.
Yeah.
But overall, they are 18-13, tied for first place in that division. But it's mainly been pitching. I mean, we've seen Brock Porter. His stuff is already too good for low A.
Yeah, and we knew it would.
Yeah, you will see him at 19 up in Hickory. I don't want to say pretty quick, but in the near future.
I think the next 6 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you on that one. You'll see him up at high A within the next 6 weeks for sure. Now let me pull up some of their stats and kind of back myself up here.
Yeah, because down east, like you said, it's been the pitching mostly at down east that has carried them.
Now they are 19-13.
Yeah,
they do have Tucker Mitchell. Tucker Mitchell's been excellent this year. He's another catcher.
Yep.
In 21 games, he's got a 329 batting average and a 440 OBP.
That's pretty good.
OPS of 923. He's doing very well. Tucker Mitchell is certainly an offensive highlight down there, and he has been since the get-go. Then you have Abimelech Ortiz. Wish I could. Abimelech. First baseman. He's hitting 292 right now with a 377 OBP.
Yeah.
His OPS is 961. He's got 6 homers and 6 doubles in 25 games.
That's pretty good.
He's doing very well. And again, offensively, Tucker Mitchell, aside from those two, they don't have another guy hitting above, let me see, 264. And that's Anthony Gutierrez, their center fielder.
Yep.
And that's it. I mean, that's where they're at. The hitting has just not been there. When we mentioned the pitching, and I'm going to get into that outside of Brock Porter because they've had some guys doing very well. Aiden Curry has been really good he's pitching 6 games, 4 starts, 27 innings and 38 strikeouts with a whip of 0.95. Aiden Curry, definitely a kid to watch.
Yeah.
Joseph Montalvo, 2.49 ERA, 31 strikeouts and 25 innings. And then you have DJ McCarty, who I just mentioned, 19 2/3 innings. And he has how many strikeouts? This is crazy. 29 and 19 2/3 innings. He has walked 13, however.
Yeah.
So that's a wild thing, I guess.
Yeah, kind of like wild thing.
Brock Porter needs no introduction. Unfortunately, he don't have a win yet, and some of those I know he didn't. He's on pitch count, so
yeah,
he's striking out a jillion. 29 strikeouts and 19 innings, same as DJ McCarty. So they've got a hell of a pitching staff down there.
Yeah, those guys can chunk a ball right now.
Yeah, Jose Cornell, 1-1 with a 3.8 ERA, whip of 0.97.
And I got to watch a few of their games the other day because they were at another stadium. They were on the road, and I got to actually watch Down East play a couple games. It was pretty fun.
Jackson Kelly, he's been the John King. Remember a couple of years ago we were calling him the decision thief?
Correct. Yeah.
He kept coming out of the bullpen and getting the wins instead of the starters because they weren't making it through 5.
Yep.
Jackson Kelly, he's 3-1 in 10 relief outings, but he's earned it. 1.93 ERA with 21 strikeouts in 14 innings and a whip of 107. They got a good pitching staff down there in Down East. And again, the young guys, the batting lineup is super, super young. super, super, super duper young. There's a lot of guys that are highly touted down there. So just,
All right.
you just need to see how they develop moving forward.
All right. Well, this has been the Ranger. This has been the Ranger Report
Sound like
podcast.
me after a day of doing insurance.
I know. This has been the Ranger Report podcast, minor league edition, on the Preferred Health Solutions Zoom studio. So anyway, that gives you guys a little look into the minor leagues. Like I said, we had a lot to talk about tonight, so we just hit the two of us to get this out of the way. And we will start having guests back on next week. More from Round Rock, more from Frisco. And then, of course, the younger guys we've talked about, we're going to try to get all them on. Plus,
we've been working on
GMs.
that.
Not on the major league one. I texted Jared Sandler. He's probably going to come back on with us soon and talk some baseball. Of course, Eric Nadell is starting to come back out of hiding now with his health condition, which has been cool. He's having his benefit birthday bash, and he's been talking about that. He might be coming back soon. So we've been praying for him. So hopefully he can come back soon. But yeah, Major League Edition coming up. We'll obviously talk about Corey Seager being back. We'll break down the series of the Braves and break down the series against the Rockies. And we got a lot to talk about there too. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Thanks for listening. Get us to 2,000 followers on Twitter. Get us to, 1,000 followers on YouTube. We'll take all the followers we can get.
Keep it coming. And I'll shoot Matt Hicks and TR Sullivan text too, see if they want to come back on.
I'd love to have TR back on. I missed last time we talked to him, so I'd love to have him on again.
Yeah, it was just me and TR on that one. And there's always one of us for him. So thankfully, but yeah, I'll shoot them a shout out too. So we'll have plenty of major league action coming, and we're
not just doing interviews on the minor leagues. We will have major league.
We just haven't started working on those yet. We're trying to hit the minors first, but yes, we will. I'm trying to get Cardoza on. I'd love to talk to him. Oh, Carlos Cardoza, the manager. Yes,
Frisco. I'd love to get him on.
Yep, Carlos Cardoza, excellent dude. Excellent.
Maybe I can hold some strings with John and Jeff, since Frisco sponsors them now. Maybe I can get them to sweet talk Zach into getting this Carlos Cardoza.
Yeah. Use your connections there, because I quit. I don't hang out with them anymore. No, I'm just kidding. Great guys over there. Too, so yeah, we're gonna keep on keeping on. Ben, hope you keep recovering well. I'm sure.
Working on it. So sorry for my weird background, and I look like I'm in a dark room. I should have had my lights swinging. That would have looked better instead of just pointed at me. So
it would be even better if you were like, "Haha, just kidding. I'm not hurt." And
guys like this the whole time
and started swinging. Started swinging with the light.
Hey guys, what's going on? Right. That's not good for my back. I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, don't do that, Ben.
All right. Well, thank you guys again.
Podcasting injury. Ben's out. He's on the IL.
CJ, I'll see you on Sunday.
Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Ranger Report podcast. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, and at therangerreport.com.